The cotton field. During the late summer's excessive dryness and searing heat, the abrasive winds ground from the south, showering all the dust and roughness to the enormous cotton field. The sound of a hissing horse echoes in the wind, and the leather whip whips ceaselessly to a man who has already fallen onto the black soil ground. The white man, nicely dressed up, tilted his head onto the horse, nonchalantly searching for his landlord. Without further ado, a tall skinny man in a straw hat and tattered trousers appears. He knows exactly what to do, taking out a bucket of water and splashing the man while waiting for his reaction. Nonetheless, in contrast to his expectation, only stillness and the rustle of cotton blades respond to him. People being beaten and dying is nothing new on this cruel plantation. They are slaves, who were dragged away from their motherland Africa in the guise of cheap labor. Sadly, there is no time to commemorate. The white man raises his whip, urges the slave to keep working. What a thug! The man says as he returns his gaze and shakes his head. But for me, dealing with his mess again. As he witnesses everything, Michael, a 7-year-old boy, lurking behind the cotton branches, secretly looking for his mother working nearby. It's been 2 years since he arrived in America, and he has never seen people die from working that much. He meant to look at the past man as he walked to his mother, but she wouldn't let him because he might be in trouble by irritating the white people. And though Michael has the curiosity of a child, he also sees the white people as bad people. As a result, he returns to his mother. Here, take Troy to the shack and give him some drink. The mother pulls Michael closer. You can feed him instead, Mom. There's only water anyway. I'm staying here and picking the seeds out. Michael, once again, insists on doing the job for his mother. You have been sick for days. What if they beat you for that and can't work? And Michael's mother adores him. Thanks for being so considerate, Mike. But I'll finish this in a blink of an eye. So stop talking and take Troy. Michael is unable to persuade his mother, leaving him with little choice but to take his younger brother from the warrior baby sling. Then the mother places the sack strap around her neck and continues the job. She knows that if she doesn't finish more than 200 pounds of cotton today, and even more from her sons, she will be beaten. Regardless of his determination to help his mother, Michael is keeping a Pandora box that he doesn't even know. As he reaches the hut, he noticed Jason was waiting for him under the oak tree to hand Michael a piece of bread. Jason is the plantation owner's youngest child, Mr. William Adams. They've known each other recently because Jason can't seem to find his same-age friend around the house. And he is so cautious to Michael that he forgot about the boundary and that white is bad. He giggling, as though from lunch. This is not the first time Michael has received something from Jason, his only friend. However, today seems to be an unlucky day for both of them. Or maybe just the poor child, Michael. Unable to finish the conversation, Mr. William burst into the shack with resentment, but seemed to control it to fit the nobility title. He drew the half-eaten bread into the filthy floor. Jason was perplexed as he witnesses his father's anger. Michael, on the other hand, considered Mr. William's irritated expression was more horrifying than the white man who had beaten the slave to death this morning. Michael was shaking in shivers, his face pale with fright while holding Troy, ignoring the boy's feeling. Mr. William took out the whip from his boots. Meanwhile, someone shouted, "Go to the son! Hey!" It doesn't take the mother a long time to rush to the shack. She was running, coughing, sweating under the blazing sun, while realizing the crack of the whip from afar. No, that's not impossible. He didn't do anything. Unfortunately, Mr. William doesn't think the same. He yells and curses at Michael. "I overfed you and you even asked my kid to give you his food? You're so bold." But the hitting comes from the unanswerable questions. The wave of whips ran on Michael's body while he was protecting Troy in his arm, causing cuts in that frail body. Every flick of Mr. William's hand was every drop of Michael's blood. The moment the boy's mother rushed in, Mr. William continued to whip constantly, even faster and stronger than before. It was only when Mr. William recognized the boy's mother collapsed that he stopped. "Get rid of it." He went outside, emotionally picking up Jason, who has been forced out earlier. Michael approaches his mother, but is kicked in the stomach by the white man. The mother has died, but Michael doesn't believe it, until he could get closer and no longer hear her breathing. He was paralyzed and didn't know what's going to happen next. As time passes, Michael is now 12 years old, but he still can't get out of that cage until he decided to join a black rebel group working to end slavery. Hey, I think I should stay here so you don't have any burden, Troy mumbles. Don't you dare say that. We are together no matter what. Go to sleep now. Michael is singing a lullaby, just as his mother did when she was with him. After a brief nap, they awoke with the people in the middle of the night to pack for the getaway. The slave began to move, hiding among the cotton bushes. After some time, they just needed to cross the slope ahead to arrive, and suddenly they heard someone running toward them. Then they also heard the whipping sound and the whistle sound from the police. Find them! Immediately, they ran with all their strength, and the brother was split from the line. They held hands, trying to escape. Head to the river! Michael rushed, but then they were stopped by some dazzling lights. The sound of the whip hitting the ground resounded before they could turn their head. Hearing it was coming closer, Michael turned to protect Troy. Then he hurriedly whispered, Run as fast as you can when I release you. Run to a place where there was no people and wait for me. I'll come to get you, I promise. Troy was trembling in his brother's arms, but he was aware of everything that was going on. Some minutes later, Michael demanded Troy while being dragged down. Run! Don't turn your head! Run! Michael fell onto the ground again, about to lose his consciousness, staring at his brother. Please be safe, and closed his eye. Yet, he heard a loud boom gun sound, where his brother just had to, attempting to open his eye again, but failed. He repeated in weak, Please be safe. Eventually, no one knew what had happened to Troy. We only know that Michael has returned to his mother, leaving life behind with his best wishes for his brother.